Today we are doing some East Coast summer sewing prep. I have a couple of ideas of things that I really wanted to sew for summer, and I feel like the East Coast and the West Coast just have like a different vibe when it comes to summer attire. This is what I think of when I think of the East Coast summer vibes, and this is what I think of when I think of the West Coast. I don't know. You guys tell me if I'm being crazy or not. We've got a couple of things going on the East Coast this summer, a couple weddings and such, and this trip specifically, we are going to Cape Cod for a wedding. It is also my nephew's first birthday, and he is going to get baptized. So just a lot of events that I need outfits for and actually have sewing projects that were commissioned for. So I saw this banner on social media that somebody made, and I thought it was so cute, and it's a really nice way to have like a family heirloom. So every year we can hang it for all of the kids' birthdays, and it's not going to have his name on it so that it can be interchangeable, not going to have the year. I think it just increases the longevity of having something that you create and maybe rewiring our brains to stop buying things for birthday parties that just get thrown away. My sister-in-law asked me also to make like one of these little things that goes around his high chair, and I'm gonna plan on making that, but I don't know if that's still the vibe because she asked me to do this before we knew that he was getting baptized that day, and I don't know if she still wants that or not. So those are two projects on the agenda outside of like the fashion sense East Coast sewing vibes, right? In terms of outfits that I need a dress for the rehearsal dinner or like welcome party. I've been wanting to sew this dress. I believe this brand is called Athens or Athens. Personally, like my style is not that girly, and I really have been wanting to be more intentional with my sewing this year because when I first got into sewing, I was just sewing everything like dresses and skirts and things, and they kind of just sit in my closet now because that's not what I wear on the daily. But I think this dress is cute and fancy-ish enough for like a beach welcome party for a wedding, but it's something that I also can style with boots and wear the rest of the year when I'm not trying to like be at an event. I've been really anticipating Sid Graham's shorts pattern. And actually I just saw on her stories yesterday that her house flooded, like her sewing studio flooded, which is really sad. I'm feeling really sorry. Not sorry. I'm feeling sad for her. Like that is a lot, and I know she's in the middle of a pattern launch, but I was wanting to create a pair of shorts like that. So I'm gonna see if I can self-draft something with this rickrack that I have down the side of the shorts to style. It can be like more sporty. And lastly, if I have time, I would like to either sew a short sleeve version of a rugby shirt or just like a boat neck tank top moment. I do think that it's still going to be a little bit cold back east, so I'm trying to be careful about what I pack, but when I looked at the weather this morning, it said that it was gonna be like in the 80s and high 70s, so I think I'll be okay to not just pack like long sleeves. It is still the time of year to like layer. Every Tuesday, our thrift store locally here does a mystery discount. So you go shopping, you pick out all your stuff, which is already like very, very reasonably priced. And then once you go to the checkout counter, they have these envelopes and you just pick one and you get a mystery discount. Last time I got an extra 25% off. So like my whole order that I got, which was like 8 things, was like 30 bucks, which is amazing. So it is a Tuesday today. We are going to go to the thrift store. I have the fabric for the dress cut out already, so that's taken care of. And then let's just see what else we find at the thrift store. Sometimes there are really good textiles, so let's go do that. It's the next day. I think I'm gonna start on constructing my shorts first. I had a few brain blasts last night about what I wanna do with these. So first things first, we have a lot of fabric to work with here. Like these are pretty big and I'm certainly gonna have to take a lot of them in and cut some off the bottom. So the excess fabric that I cut off the bottom, I want to turn into pockets to put on the back because there are currently no back pockets here. And I thought this would be a fun applique moment where I can put some like East Coast summer iconography on here. I'm thinking lobsters. I'm thinking little cute fish. So we're gonna do that together. And then I realized that I am going to have to compromise the front pocket here and the zipper, which is totally fine because this is an elastic waistband on the back. But the way that the pocket construction is it lays like nice and flat, which I do love. I love the look of that, but I just don't feel like I have it in me right now with all of the things that I have going on to take the time to do that. I think I'm just going to simply like stitch a new side seam here. And then I have this really cute rickrack. I have been holding on to this for some time now, and I think that this color scheme would be really cute. Like the navy with the light blue here is gonna be a nice moment, and the lobster on the back will be red, and then I'm thinking light blue fish. So let's get to work. First things first, I need to figure out how to make these fit my body properly and how much I need to take in from the sides and how much I need to take up on the inseam. Let's do that.
Okay, these are not holding themselves up at all. But I think I need to take out about this much from the side, which is almost right up to the elastic band. Can you see that? I've got the shorts cut out. I actually cut the hem on the bottom first to just make them easier to work with. And now I'm gonna sew along the side seam here on this line that I marked to take in the sides. Going through the pocket here, but like, man, I just don't care. I don't feel like dealing with taking it out. So it is what it is. This line is like so wobbly. Oh well.
Couple updates I did off camera. I took up the inseam. I probably will have to make these shorter than I want because they aren't as baggy as I was hoping they would be. So I did already cut a little bit off the bottom, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna install the rickrack now. So I'm gonna thinking one of these on either side of the side seam. I think that will be so cute. So let's sew these on. First I'll have to mark where I want them. And then we're gonna take up the bottom. Oh, I also cut open this bottom side seam a little bit so that it can give the bottom of the pants a little bit of extra like breathing room once they're open. So I'm gonna have to sew down this little seam and then do my hem. And then after that, it's pockets and applique, which I can't wait for. Okay, here's where we're at. I think this looks really cute. So all we have to do now is secure them. I'm just gonna secure them with a straight stitch. I know that might mean that these little edges can like pull up, but I think it'll be fine. I feel like these shorts are taking it out of me in a way that I did not anticipate. Okay, so the rickrack is on, they are hemmed. I opened up a little slit here so that there's a little more room. And I just feel like they're still off. When I put them on, they don't feel great. So that has me debating, do I go ahead and make the applique? Because I really like that idea. I think it's so cute and I do have a lot of leftover fabric. I'm about to just take the leftover fabric and make a whole new freaking pair of shorts. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I think I need to sleep on it because I spent a lot more time on these than I thought that I would, and I only have I basically have 3 days to do all of my other projects that I want to get done for this trip. So I'm gonna sleep on the pockets and we're gonna come back to this. I can always unpick the rickrack and use this for something else if I don't wind up loving these shorts. But that's the thing about sewing, man. Like, you could spend hours and hours and hours making something and it doesn't look right. And in order to fix it, you just have to put in more time. And I don't have that in me right now for this. So tomorrow, I'm going to focus on dress construction as well as constructing the banner because those are two important, key, crucial things that I need for this trip. So future Krista will fill you in on where we are at with those. I really need to get cracking on this dress. It's now 2.5 days until we leave. Time has flown. I have not accounted for all of this time that it takes to do all this sewing and the other things that I have going on in my life. So right now, the goal is we have all of the fabric cut out for the dress that I'm going to make using this really beautiful like striped green seersucker and white fabric. And we are making the Cora dress by Socialite. I've made it once before as just a top and it was an epic fail. So I'm really hoping that today it goes a lot smoother. Without further ado, let's just jump right into sewing for this one, all right? So I need my front bodice and my back bodice piece. I need to mark the darts. And then we're gonna start by stay stitching the neckline and the armholes for the back bodice and the front bodice. I usually think that stay stitching is such a nuisance, but I feel like I should do this. So here we go. 5 millimeters is a half a centimeter. Like, I don't understand. This is why I don't stay stitch. Like, why the hell? Honestly, I'm about to skip this step. I don't care. We're skipping it. Starting with the darts instead. I think I'm gonna do French seams today. Maybe that's crazy, but oh my gosh, no. Okay, wrong side, and then this is the wrong side. We're doing it. You guys, that's magic. I didn't even need my serger and zigzag stitch. Am I right? Set the stitch length to 4. Set 2 rows of stitches between the notches, 5 millimeters from the raw edge, and the second from 15 millimeters from the raw edge. What does 5 millimeters mean? If 5 millimeters close, it's a half a centimeter. So it's like nothing. Leave a long tail at the end of the stitches. So we're basically just creating gathering stitches here. Okay. This is the binding for the neck, and I meant to snip off this little tip. Okay guys, we've been making some good progress here. I did a bunch off camera. So I finished the binding here. It is sitting so nicely. The first time I did this on like the shirt version of this pattern that I hacked, this was a mess. And it feels so good to gain confidence back after just like truly screwing up a project and now coming back to it after gaining like a bunch of experience and getting it right. My camera battery keeps dying and I need to order a backup one so that I could just like pop it in. That means that I had to do some stuff off camera, let it recharge, and then I had dinner plans last night. So here we are, next day again. We're traveling tomorrow. Oh my gosh, we are coming up against the finish line, but I just learned that Ryan, my husband's grandmother, has a sewing machine. So a couple of the projects that I want to finish, I can actually do there. My sister-in-law today asked me if I could help her hem a dress that she's wearing to a wedding the following weekend after we're together. So that's what it means being the sewist in someone's life. Anyway, let's get back to sewing. Where we're at with this is right now I have made a gathering stitch here on the bust. I've attached wrong sides together so I can continue with my French seams. I'm going to sew this up and then do the same on the other side. And then this little peak right here has to be hand sewn, or like the seam allowance here will be hand sewn together. So let's get back to it. If you can hear it. That's the sound of my laundry going off. I'm gonna have to get up and get that because I will forget if I don't do that right after this. Awesome. We just need to repeat that on the other side now. We have what looks to be a dress. Now we just need to close up the right side, and then we're gonna install the zipper in the left side, which I am panicking about because I've never installed a zipper with doing French seams. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. Maybe this side will just have to be finished a different way, but I don't see why that would be the case. All right, wish me luck. I think I've done it. The zipper's in. Except I didn't do French seams in here. I think I'm just gonna serge this and call it a day because I cannot deal with that. It's the next day, friends. The dress is done. I finished it yesterday and you'll get to see it in the montage. Today we are flying out. I can't believe I'm saying that, but we leave in a couple of hours, and I did get a head start on picking out all my scrap fabric for the happy birthday banner. Now I'm gonna make the letters so we can cut them out and iron them on at the very least, and maybe I can add some stitching details in post or at Ryan's grandma's on her sewing machine. So let's see how far we can get. I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself. I'll just bring whatever doesn't get done with me and see how it goes. This has been a running to the finish line project. Like, oh my gosh. I always think that I have way more time than I do. And it's like, where does it go during the day? I blink and it's suddenly like 4 p.m. and I haven't looked up since 9. So I feel like all I've been doing is stressing about getting everything done this week, and I'm gonna stop doing that because nothing is going to catch on fire if it doesn't get done. I just make promises to people and myself, and I like to keep them, but sometimes father time works against me. Anyway, let's get to it. This is the pile of scraps that I have chosen. I have this interfacing, and then I have an extra interfacing that's like more sturdy in case I need it. So we're gonna iron after I cut out and design all of the letters. To make the pattern for the letters, I used Adobe Illustrator and set each artboard sides to 8.5 by 11 inches, which is US letters, so I knew that each letter would fit when printing them and that they'd all be the same size once they were sewn on the banner. I would definitely recommend choosing like a chunky block font for this. All the letters are cut out. I think what I'm gonna do is take all of my scrap fabric, rough cut around each letter, and then iron that onto the, what is this called? Interfacing. And then cut the letter out of the final fabric, like interfacing and final fabric. I think that will be the easiest route forward.
I feel like the interfacing is like giving veil. That's enough of that. Now I just need to do like 10, 12 more, like 16 more. So I'm just gonna like go roll through that, and I will see you here after. Chapter. Done. I think all the letters look really cute together. They're just fun and colorful, and I didn't even plan. Awesome, awesome. Hi, Jeff. Jeff likes it too. So I have this canvas fabric, and the plan is to just take all the letters and now iron them onto this. And we'll see how big we need to make the sign, but there's plenty to go around. I freaking did it with, what time is it? Like 2 hours to spare to go to the airport. I didn't actually accomplish everything that I wanted to. I did want to turn this long sleeve button down into a short sleeve button down, which I'm sure I could actually do if I wanted to, but it's not going to be that warm. So I think I can save it for when I get back. If you made it this far, thanks for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up if you thought it was fun to be involved in my chaos, and subscribe to my channel for more sewing and crafting and cooking and all the hands-on things content. All right, roll the montage.